What is up, everybody? It's your boy Herf here, back on the Duel Entertainment channel, and today we got a very interesting video for you guys. A couple people have been DMing me like, what are the best decks in the meta right now? What are the matchups? Stuff like that. So basically, this is my personal tier list. Desperado and Blackwings is tier 1. Noble Knight, Ritual Beast, Blue Eyes, tier 2. Witchcrafter, Magnets, Cyber Dragons, Trimids, filling out the tier 3 decks. Now, essentially the goal of this spreadsheet is to show you guys what I think the best decks are and what their best matchups are. So green on the side here is tier 1, tier 2 is yellow, and tier 3 is red. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going through this, and if the matchup is better than 60-40, better than 60-40, it's going to be green. If it's less than 60-40 but above 40-60, it's going to be yellow. And if it's below 40-60, it's going to be red. Actually, I think I goofed this up. I think it should actually be less than 40-60, greater than 60-40. That makes more sense. Anyways, but yeah, so to just get right into it, Desperado going across the line here, I think that in general the Blackwing matchup is favorable. So I'm definitely going to click this as a green. And the reason that I think it's favorable is because you're able to get so many negates, back row, things like that, that you really should be winning the Blackwing matchup the majority of the time, in my opinion. I think there are times where Blackwings can kind of luck sack, so I think it's definitely like 60-40. But something like head judging or misjudge with the additional threat of having stuff like Desperado, if you pop it, you just search as a Karibo and then they kill you next turn. All of those kinds of things are really, really hard for Blackwings to deal with. Desperado has an unfavorable Noble Knight matchup, purely because Noble Knights protect from destruction. However, Desperado can potentially win through stuff like Karma Cup, but in general it's bad. Ritual Beast, again, I think Desperado in general has a bad matchup versus Ritual Beasts, just purely because Ritual Beast can play around a lot of the destruction effects as well as bouncing across the hand instead of destroying them. I think they do beat Blue Eyes, so I'm definitely going to put this as green. Blue Eyes have a hard time playing around the non-destruction or non-targeting destruction, so in general, it's pretty hard for them to deal with. Witchcrafters, I do think Desperado has a slight advantage. I'm going back and forth between it if it's 50-50 or favorable for Desperado. I think in general, it's pretty 50-50. Like, I'm gonna say it's 50. I'm gonna say it's neutral. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's pretty neutral because the thing is, like, if Witchcrafters go first with their optimal turn 1, I mean, they can't really. Desperado can't really out Vera or Veer, whatever, however you say it, without a Karma Cut. And so if you don't, like, if your entire strategy is I need to draw Karma Cut to win, I don't think that's a very good strategy. However, they get their Karma Cuts hyper consistently because of Cup of Ace and Misjudge, and well, Cup of Ace as well as Misjudging kind of sacks this deck. So like, it's very difficult. I would say either it's neutral or favorable for Desperado, but I'm just gonna say it's neutral. Magnets, I think, is a neutral matchup. Like, I think that both decks can definitely sack the other. I think maybe Desperado has a slight advantage because of Karma Cut, but I think it's generally pretty neutral. Cyber Dragons is a pretty free matchup for Desperado because they pop your stuff. You just get the search, stuff like that. And then Trimids, I'd say in general, is an unfavorable matchup because of the fact that like the Desperado player can't really play through a fortress. They need Karma Cut, and if they don't have Karma Cut, they lose. And even if they do have Karma Cut, Dancer being able to boost up is going to be really problematic for them. But just from this, I think that a lot of these poor matchups are just barely poor matchups, and that's why Desperado is the best deck, because even their bad matchups, they can easily win if they draw like playable, right? Like, they don't need to draw amazing; they just need to draw like playable, and they have a very good chance at winning those matchups. So like, even the Reds are like not like true reds. Like they could definitely be yellow. So because we already said Desperado beats Blackwings, Blackwings has a hard matchup versus Desperado. Blackwings versus Noble Knights. I think in general, Blackwings should be winning this. Like they open so much destruction that they can easily like double pop through like a Destiny or something like that, and they just don't really care about like the like most of the backer that Noble Knights plays, especially because they have stuff like Karma Cut. They can make Chidori just swing over for game. I mean, it's really difficult to say that Noble Knights is a clear winner in this matchup unless they go first with an absolute god hand, which you cannot like consistently say that they do. Blackwings have an unfavorable Ritual Beast matchup, especially if Ritual Beast play like more control cards like Canadia and Cosmic Cyclone. I think that Ritual Beast can definitely just steamroll Blackwings because Ritual Beasts float as well as they can play around destruction effects. So you need to go into like Samurai Destroyer or Chidori, which generally just like net less advantage for you. Blackwings, Blackwings and Blue Eyes are pretty difficult. Is a pretty difficult like matchup to call. In general, I think I'd give it to Blackwings though. Just purely because like if they go second, they win, and if they go first, like Blackwings can't OTK them really, so they don't really care either way. But Blackwings, I think they definitely beat Witchcrafters. I think they have one of the best Witchcrafter matchups around besides Triamid potentially. Triamid has such a good Witchcrafter matchup, it's not even funny. But Blackwings versus Magnets, I think Magnets win this matchup. Purely because they're able to float, they're able to dodge effects, and then they're able to just pop off in their turn. Blackwings and Cyber Dragons, I think it's 50-50. I really do. I really think it's a 50-50 matchup because Cyber Dragons. I think it'll be a little unfavorable for Blackwings actually, just purely because Overflow is such a stupid card, like absolutely insane. And then Triamid versus Blackwings. I think. Actually, I think this is probably yellow, and then this is probably. I think Trimids are slightly favored just because Trimids are guaranteed to open a trap. And if they go second, they're going to start with so much card advantage. Like Blackwings, actually, I think this is 50-50. It's really like, do Blackwings draw their Cosmics, in my opinion. Um, if Blackwings draw their Cosmics, it's pretty rough for Trimids. It can be very difficult. However, if they don't open their Cosmic, Trimids are able to like just get so much card advantage. It's crazy. So Noble Knights, we already said beat Desperado. And we already said that Blackwings have a good Noble Knight matchup, so this has to be a bad matchup for them. So Noble Knights versus Ritual Beast, I feel like is a really bad matchup for Noble Knights. And the reason that I think that is that Ritual Beasts don't really care about the protection from destruction because they just bounce stuff to hand as well as they float. And Noble Knights can't really deal with floaters that well. They just don't deal with floaters. Noble Knights versus Blue Eyes, I think that's another pretty tough matchup for them. Just because Blue Eyes are going to be like banishing their back row, and they can't really play through their back row getting banished. I think Noble Knights have. I think they have an alright Witchcrafter matchup. I think I'm gonna put this as a green because Gwynnifer is so good in this matchup because Veer can't negate the Gwynnifer. So like if you try to swing in, Gwynnifer's just gonna pop it, and then what do you do? Like you can't do anything. Noble Knights versus Magnets. I'm actually skip on this for now. I'm gonna come back to it. They have a good Cyber Dragon matchup, definitely. Uh, because like you destroy their equips or you destroy their stuff, they can protect from destruction. Or if you destroy their equips, it doesn't matter. So like, it's not as easy as I think a lot of people would think. I mean, if you go second, it's really hard, especially if Cyber Dragon's God Hand. But pretty much nothing is beating Cyber Dragons if they go second into a Cyber Dragon God Hand. Noble Knight versus Triamid. I think in general, Trimids should win. But I'm gonna put this as a 50-50 because I think going first is huge in this matchup. Like I I genuinely don't think that if either one goes first, like how do I put this? I think that if Trimids go first, they definitely win. But if they go second, they pretty much lose if Noble Knight's open playable. Like honestly, like it's so bad. Although Sphinx is a pretty hard card for the Noble Knight player to deal with, especially if you have Fortress on the field. However, there are a lot of things that have to get to that standpoint or like get to that place for me to call it just like an automatically favorable matchup either way. And then the Noble Knights versus Magnets. I mean, this is not one that I've like really tested much myself, but I would think that Magnets would slightly lose. I'll probably put it as yellow, honestly, because on the one hand they do float a lot, which can be really hard for Noble Knights, but if you think about like their boss monster Berserkion, right? If they start popping stuff, how much can they really pop, right? So like if they start popping backer, the backer is just gonna re-equip. If they start trying to pop the monster, they're gonna have so many pops on the monster that they're not gonna be able to remove anything else. So like I think in general, Noble Knights and Magnus kind of go 50-50 because Magnus also do have the field spell that bounces stuff to hand, which is really annoying for Noble Knights. So I think it's probably 50-50. Ritual Beast beat Desperado, as we said. Ritual Beast beat Blackwings. And Ritual Beast, we said, beat Noble Knights. Now, they have the worst Blue Eyes matchup in the game. Like, Blue Eyes literally just eats Ritual Beast for breakfast. Like, it's not even fun to play. Like, zero fun. It's awful. I hate it so much. Ritual Beasts have a really, I would say, a pretty even Witchcrafter matchup. I think that if Witchcrafters like play it optimally, it can be really difficult for Ritual Beasts. Although, like, actually, I think, hmm, I think that Witchcrafters are in general pretty 50-50, but I think I might favor Ritual Beast slightly. And the reason that I favor Ritual Beast slightly is just because they're able to resolve Paddlefin so many times that the Witchcrafter player is gonna like fall behind in card advantage really quickly, and that's why I think Ritual Beasts are so good. Magnets versus Ritual Beasts. I think that in general Magnets should be winning this matchup, just because like they're able to just pop so many times, or not this way. They're able to pop so many times and swing and stuff like that that Ritual Beasts are going to need to exhaust so much or so many resources to prevent from dying that they're not going to have a follow up, and then Magnets are just going to be able to steamroll them in the next turn. Ritual Beasts have a really easy Cyber Dragon matchup. I don't know how much I need to say. They're just immune to destruction, as well as Cyber Dragons can't really recover from being bounced back to the hand. And then the Tri-Mid matchup is absolutely god awful. Like, absolutely god awful. Like, really, really bad. I think in general, the reason Ritual Beasts are so good and everyone needs to side for them is that they have good matchups versus the top, you know, 3 or 4 decks. However, people like siding system or people siding poisonous winds and all that really just brings their power level down, which is really unfortunate because they could be a really, really good deck, and they are in general a good pick if you know how to use them. But they struggle from being countered so heavily in a side deck format, as well as they can brick. So like if you brick or you get countered with and you don't have like an inherent out to that counter, like you just can't play the game, and that's why side deck cards are so annoying in Duel Links. So we already said Desperado had a good Blue Eyes matchup. So like everything below this like black line. So black line is obviously the mirrors. So like Desperado, if they play Desperado, we can't really rate that matchup because Desperado is always going to win. But like under this black line, we've already like assessed the matchup. but like above the black line is where like the new stuff is happening. So just so you know why I'm looking. Blue Eyes versus Blackwings, because like Blackwings we assessed the Blue Eyes matchup and we said it was good for Blackwings, so it can't be good for Blue Eyes too. Then we said Noble Knights had a bad Blue Eyes matchup, so it has to be good for Blue Eyes. And we just said Blue Eyes had a really easy Ritual Beast matchup. Now, Blue Eyes versus Witchcrafters, I think is also in Blue Eyes' favor because like they can negate so many grave effects, as well as I mean they're just able to put so much offensive pressure on the game and loop their alternative back to the hand and really just exhaust the Witchcrafter resources and prevent them from gaining them back. That makes it really tough for them. Blue Eyes, I think they lose to Magnets. I think. Hmm. I think it's actually good for me, or I think it's good for Blue Eyes, because the thing is, like, what are Magnets going to do to really like out the Blue Eyes board permanently? Like they have Berserkion, but like Berserkion has to go through, otherwise they can't out a 3,000 attack monster, which is really unfortunate, and is the reason why Blue Eyes has been meta relevant for so long since like the initial structure deck release, because like if they a 3,000 attack monster is very high in Duel Links just in general, so. Blue Eyes versus Cyber Dragon. I think it's ultimately pretty 50-50, but I think I would definitely have to give it a little bit to Cyber Dragons, just purely because Blue Eyes doesn't have that much OTK power, and if you don't OTK Cyber Dragons, they kill you. Like it's just that simple. Blue Eyes and Triamid, I think it's notoriously good for Blue Eyes. Like they just are able to banish so much stuff that the Triamid player can't really get going. Like between like banishing with Spirit Dragon and banishing with Karma Cut is incredible. Witchcrafters, we already said, had a 50-50 Desperado matchup. We said that they had a bad Blackwing matchup. We said that they had a bad Noble Knight matchup. Which, I don't know. I mean, going back to that, it's actually probably more 50-50, honestly. I mean, Gwen is hard, but like, they're only able to Gwen once per turn, and then you have stuff like Holiday. I would say it's probably more 50-50. And then Witchcrafters versus Ritual Beast. I said that Ritual Beasts were favored. I would probably like to say that this is a bad matchup as well. And then I think they have a good Magnet matchup, just purely because they negate Berserkion, and then the Magnet player doesn't have an out to anything. I think they have a good Cyber Dragon matchup. Uh, Probably 50-50, because like if the Cyber Dragon player goes first and they have overflow, like the the Witchcrafter really can't play, but if they don't have overflow, it can be really 50-50. Like it can be a pretty big toss up. And the Witchcrafters have an awful Triamid matchup. Like the reason that I like honestly, people might disagree with my assessment on the Witchcrafter stuff, which is fine. But in general, I don't think that they're that great of a deck. The reason that I put it here is because the people that I know are really good with the deck have really good results with it whenever they play it. So I feel like I have to respect that they might know more about the matchups, and maybe more of these are 50-50 than I give them credit for. But personally, I don't think Witchcrafter is that good of a meta pick right now, and I think they're definitely strong enough to be tier 3. And then Magnets, I said had a 50-50 Desperado matchup. I said that they had a good Blackwing matchup. Whoops, good. I said that they had a 50-50 Noble Knight matchup. Whoops. Or whoops, 50-50. And then I said that they had a good Ritual Beast matchup. And then I said that they had a good Blue Eyes matchup. Wait. I said they had a bad Blue Eyes matchup. Right? This is Blue Eyes and Magnets. Yeah. And then Magnets, I said, had a bad Witchcrafter matchup. Alright. And then there's Magnets versus Cyber Dragons. I feel like it's really good for Magnets, honestly. Like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like just the Magnet Field spell is so hard for the uh the Cyber Dragon player to play through. Like, plus they have backroad removal. Like, I feel like you need to luck sack so hard with Cyber Dragons that it's absolutely insane. And then Magnets versus Trimids, I feel like it's pretty 50-50. Like Trimids and Magnets, maybe it's slightly favored for Magnets, just because they have so much removal that it doesn't really matter if they flip into different stuff. Plus, they have Cosmic Cyclone, so they can force the tag out and then do that. Well, the only matchup that I haven't rated yet is Cyber Dragon versus Trimid, and I'm going to say that that's probably a 50-50. Like, whoever goes first wins. And then, I mean, the rest of this we can just fill out from seeing. Cyber Dragons have a bad Desperado matchup. They have a neutral Blackwing matchup. They have a bad Ritual Beast matchup. Blue Eyes, not good. Blue Eyes, wait. Yeah, Ritual Beast not good. Blue Eyes has a hard Cyber Dragon matchup. And then they have a 50-50 Witchcrafter matchup. And then they have a bad Magnet matchup. So in general, like, I mean, you can definitely see like the tier 3 decks, I definitely think have a lot fewer good matchups in the meta. I think Ritual Beasts are definitely a deck that could be tier 1, but people just play. I mean, it's just the meta is just too. The side deck meta is just too difficult for them, in my opinion. Like, side deck really just devastates Ritual Beasts. Like, it's not even funny. Trimids, again, like, they have a lot of good matchups in theory, but in practice, going second is so hard for the deck that, like, I think that limits a lot of their potential. Is like, what if they go second? So in general, I think that this is like the best kind of meta analysis that I can give right now. Like, clearly we have like Fire Kings and different things in the meta, all that kind of stuff. But I think that this would be like the best in terms of like, what do we think, or what do I think are the best decks and what are their best matchups. I hope this is helpful. If you guys enjoyed this video, please let me know in the comments below. I do read them all. If you guys think I was wrong, or you guys think that there are other things or other decks should be included that I didn't include, please let me know. I'm going to try to do this somewhat periodically when the meta changes, although, like, who knows when that's going to be. Konami, please change this. But anyways, thank you so much for stopping by the channel. I hope you guys enjoyed the content. Make sure you leave a comment below. You know, do you agree with this? Do you not agree with this? Kind of give me some feedback. Did you like the video? Please let me know. And if you did, please drop a like. That's amazing. And we did just reach over 5K subscribers on YouTube. That means the absolute world. So if you want to help us get to 6K, please leave that subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when we upload. And then make sure you check out our Discord as well, where we have the biggest free, well, maybe not the biggest, but definitely the best free new player help around. So if you're a new player, you want to know, like, how do I get a good account? They'll tell you what to spend, what not to spend on. How do you get better at the game? They'll help you with that too. As well as that's how you join our tournaments that are practically every single day. We have tournaments in varying time zones, so if that's a concern for you, don't worry about it. They're free entry, $10 prize every single one of them. Some of them are more if we meet some different goals. Like, I know we have Viking Clan something. I can't remember exactly what it is, but make sure you go to the Twitch. They'll tell you all about it. And then you should also go to the Twitch so you can follow us and subscribe there. It's absolutely amazing. That's where we actually host the tournaments and have a new player stream on Saturday night. So you should definitely check out where they're going to answer all your questions there. So perfect. And with that, I'm going to head on out of here. I'll see you guys next time, and thanks for stopping by.